Today, you are not here by chance. Something bigger has brought you to this moment. What you are about to hear could be the most important alert of your life, an urgent call that cannot be ignored. Before I begin, let me emphasize, this is no ordinary video. It's not something to watch distractedly. It is a warning that can transform your vision about what is to come and prepare you and your family for times of challenge and hope. Think for a moment, have you ever felt that inexplicable feeling that something big is about to happen? Something that seems to approach silently, but with enough force to change everything around you. That concern, that intuition, is real. Many of us are perceiving signs in our daily lives. Events that once seemed distant are now closer than ever. And it is no coincidence we are living in extraordinary times. The message you will receive today is a key to understanding and facing these days with faith and wisdom. The Virgin Mary, with her infinite compassion, chose to send us a clear and loving warning. This is not a message to generate panic, but to open eyes, awaken hearts, and guide our actions. This call is an invitation to preparation, not only physical, but spiritual. A reminder that, even in times of uncertainty, faith and togetherness can be the greatest shields against the unknown. The world is changing, and perhaps you have already noticed new crises, unexpected events, and a collective feeling that we are walking towards something bigger. Today's message speaks directly to that. The future is being shaped by our present actions, and what we will share here is a path to navigate challenges with courage and serenity. But before we continue, there is something you need to deeply understand. Ignoring this alert is not an option. Allow these words to resonate in your heart. From now on, commit to listening until the end. Every second counts because throughout this video, we will reveal what you need to do to protect your home, your loved ones, and, above all, your spirit. Imagine being with millions of people who, like you, are also looking for answers. We are united by a greater purpose to understand the signs, act wisely, and find refuge in faith. This is a unique moment, a moment of decision. Are you ready to hear the call? So take a deep breath and stay with me. What is to come may be the key to transforming your life definitively. Have you already noticed that the world around you is different? The feeling that something big and invisible is happening is more real than ever. The signs are appearing everywhere, and many of us are ignoring what is before our eyes. But today, you will have the opportunity to clearly see what is coming, and more importantly, know how to prepare. Strange events are intensifying. More frequent natural disasters, unexpected crises, an inexplicable imbalance that seems to affect everyone. But this is not by chance. These events are clear signs that we are on the verge of something much greater, something that most cannot yet understand. But you feel it, right? That feeling that time is running out, that there is a force in the air that is asking us to act now, before it is too late. This call is real, and the Virgin Mary, in her infinite wisdom and compassion, gave us a message to understand what is to come. It is not just about climate changes or political crises. What is happening goes far beyond what the news shows. There is something spiritual, deep and silent, something that comes to test our faith, our union, and even our ability to protect those we love. This is a calling. It's no coincidence that you're hearing this today. If you have come this far, it is because you feel that there is something more. Because you know that the world as we know it is changing and that we need to prepare to face what is to come. This video offers not only information, but guidance. Every word you will hear here has been designed to open your eyes and not be surprised, as it will be for many. Many have already realized that things are not normal, but they continue to deny the signs, ignore the signs, postpone important decisions. But you have a different option. You can decide to listen, learn, and act. The Virgin Mary came to us with a direct message. The coming changes will test not only our physical strength, but also our spiritual strength, and only those who are ready, who have faith and wisdom, will be able to pass through them in peace. But here's the truth. The preparation begins now. This video is not just a warning, it is a guide, a manual, so that you understand what is happening, protect yourself and your family. Every sign is a reminder that time is short. Ignoring them is not an option. And what follows in this video is essential to ensure you're ready. There is something important that you need to have at home, a simple but powerful object that can make all the difference. I will reveal it to you at the appropriate time, but until then, you need to understand the context. Stay with me. Don't leave now, because this is the crucial part to understanding the severity of what we are facing. What is to come is real, and ignoring it would be an irreversible mistake. Watch until the end. Every detail matters. Now it's time to reveal why this video is so urgent and essential. What you are about to hear is not just an alert, it is a divine call. A call that came directly from the Virgin Mary, and that can transform the way you face the future if you are willing to listen to the end. This message is not about creating fear, but about awakening your heart and opening your eyes. The Virgin Mary did not come to scare us, but to guide us. He wants you to know that there is a path to face the difficult times ahead. But this path requires faith, togetherness, and above all, action. Here's the most important point. This is a call to preparedness. What you do now will determine how you will face what is to come. The decisions you make today can make the difference between security and vulnerability. And we're not just talking about visible dangers. The real risk is in the silent, invisible forces that are already moving around us. The Virgin Mary alerts us to something profound, something that is about to happen, and that will not only affect our health and safety, but also our faith. She asks us for attention and invites us to act wisely. This is not the time to hesitate. This is the time to make conscious decisions and prepare your home, your family, and your spirit. You feel the calling, right? That feeling deep in your heart that tells you there is something more, something you must do to protect the ones you love. This is the divine voice guiding you toward what is coming, but here is the most powerful point. You are not alone. The Virgin Mary is with us, extending her hand and showing us the way. Its message is clear. Those who act now with faith and determination will be protected, while those who ignore this call will risk facing challenges unprotected. There is something essential you need to know, and more importantly, something you need to have. A specific object recommended by the Virgin Mary that represents more than physical protection. It is a symbol of faith, a connection with the divine, and their presence in your home will be crucial in the moments to come. But understand, the time to prepare is short. Many will ignore this alert and continue living as if nothing is happening. Don't make that mistake. Throughout this video, I will show you what this object is, how to use it, and why it is essential for the safety of you and your family. Remember, this calling is not for everyone. It is for those who feel deep in their soul that the time has come to act. For those who understand that there is something bigger happening and who want to be ready to face it with courage and faith. Don't get distracted. Don't leave now. Every second matters. What you will do with this message is crucial. The Virgin Mary gave us this gift of guidance and protection, but it is up to you to accept it and put it into practice. Stay with me, because the next part will be decisive in understanding what is to come and how to prepare. This is the time to listen, learn, and act. Are you ready to continue? Then let's go together. Now that you understand the importance of this message, it's time to reveal what many ignore. True danger is not something you can easily see, touch, or avoid. What is approaching is a hidden threat, a silent and invisible force that is about to affect the world in ways that few are prepared to face. The Virgin Mary, in her infinite compassion, alerted us to this. This warning is clear. We are about to live a moment that will test our faith, our security, and even our health. Don't kid yourself. This is not just a possibility. This threat is real and approaching quickly. What is this threat? Imagine something that attacks without warning, going unnoticed, but leaving a devastating impact. This threat is not just physical, it is spiritual, emotional, and deep. It affects not only the body, but also the spirit, bringing with it fear, confusion, and even a feeling of helplessness. But here's the crucial point. You don't need to face it alone. The Virgin Mary showed us the way to protect ourselves and our families. And throughout this video, you will learn how to take practical and spiritual steps to prepare. You feel this in the air, right? The world is no longer the same. There is an imbalance that is growing, a force that tests our faith and our resistance. It manifests itself in crises that seem to come out of nowhere, in disasters that defy our understanding, and in a collective feeling that something else is at stake. But what many don't see is that this is not just a coincidence. The Virgin Mary warned us because she knew that this moment would be inevitable. He gave us clear instructions on how to prepare for what is to come. What can you do now? First, recognize that this danger is not something you can ignore. Preparation begins with awareness. When you understand what is happening, you can start to act. The Virgin Mary revealed to us that there is a specific object, a symbol of protection and faith, that will be essential to face what is to come. But this is not all. He also asked us to strengthen our faith, unite our families, and act wisely. This is not a time to hesitate, but to take clear and practical action. Firstly, I would like to invite you to subscribe to this channel, because here I will be sharing a prophetic message for your heart every day. And don't forget to comment below your prayer request and tell me who you have been praying for in the last few days. Your family, friends, for work, for healing. Make your prayer request below and accompanied by your prayer request. Also tell me what country you are from, so I know which countries our message is reaching. Amen. The Virgin Mary warns us of the importance of preparing ourselves through powerful prayers to achieve protection and salvation for our lives. So download now my digital book, The Powerful Prayer of the Virgin Mary. This material covers a variety of prayers suitable for all occasions in life. Don't waste your time. Click on the link available in the first pinned comment and download it immediately. Units are limited, therefore it is crucial to act now to ensure that access to the powerful prayer of the Virgin Mary should be now before units run out. And be sure to paste your book without the first comment posted. It is very important to heed the warnings of our Virgin Mary and prepare yourself for the great torment that will come. Those who are prepared, who heed this call and act wisely, will be protected. But for those who ignore it, the path will be more difficult and uncertain. And here's something important. You still have time. Time to listen, learn, and act. But this time is not unlimited. The danger is approaching, and the sooner you prepare, the greater your protection. Stick with me. There's more you need to know, and in the next few minutes I'll show you exactly what you can do to ensure your safety. We're going to talk about how to identify the signs, how to protect yourself, and most importantly, how to ensure that your faith is your greatest shield. This is a moment of decision. Don't let fear paralyze you. Use this message as a guide to act with courage and confidence. Because the preparation you do now will be the difference between facing what is to come with force or being taken by surprise. Because every second matters. What you will do with this message is crucial. The Virgin Mary gave us this gift of guidance and protection, but it is up to you to accept it and put it into practice. Stay with me, because the next part will be decisive in understanding what is to come and how to prepare. This is the time to listen, learn, and act. Are you ready to continue? Then let's go together. Now that you understand the importance of this message, it's time to reveal what many ignore. True danger is not something you can easily see, touch, or avoid. What is approaching is a hidden threat, a silent and invisible force that is about to affect the world in ways that few are prepared to face. The Virgin Mary, in her infinite compassion, alerted us to this. This warning is clear. We are about to live a moment that will test our faith, our security, and even our health. Don't kid yourself, this is not just a possibility. This threat is real and approaching quickly. What is this threat? Imagine something that attacks without warning, going unnoticed, but leaving a devastating impact. This threat is not just physical, it is spiritual, emotional, and deep. It affects not only the body, but also the spirit, bringing with it fear, confusion, and even a feeling of helplessness. But here's the crucial point. You don't need to face it alone. The Virgin Mary showed us the way to protect ourselves and our families. And throughout this video, you will learn how to take practical and spiritual steps to prepare. You feel this in the air, right? The world is no longer the same. There is an imbalance that is growing, a force that tests our faith and our resistance. It manifests itself in crises that seem to come out of nowhere, in disasters that defy our understanding, and in a collective feeling that something else is at stake. But what many don't see is that this is not just a coincidence. The Virgin Mary warned us because she knew that this moment would be inevitable. He gave us clear instructions on how to prepare for what is to come. What can you do now? First, recognize that this danger is not something you can ignore. Preparation begins with awareness. When you understand what is happening, you can start to act. The Virgin Mary revealed to us that there is a specific object, a symbol of protection and faith, that will be essential to face what is to come. But this is not all. He also asked us to strengthen our faith, unite our families, and act wisely. This is not a time to hesitate, but to take clear and practical action. Those who are prepared, who heed this call and act wisely, will be protected. But for those who ignore it, the path will be more difficult and uncertain. And here's something important. You still have time. Time to listen, learn, and act. But this time is not unlimited. The danger is approaching, and the sooner you prepare, the greater your protection. Stick with me, there's more you need to know, and in the next few minutes I'll show you exactly what you can do to ensure your safety. We're going to talk about how to identify the signs, how to protect yourself, and most importantly, how to ensure that your faith is your greatest shield. This is a moment of decision. Don't let fear paralyze you. Use this message as a guide to act with courage and confidence. Because the preparation you do now will be the difference between facing what is to come with strength or being taken by surprise. Let us stay together until the end, because in this final moment, I am going to reveal to you what you need to know to be fully prepared for the challenges ahead. The Virgin Mary has given us the keys so that we can face them, but it is up to you to put them into practice. Let's move forward on this path of faith, wisdom, and protection. You are here for a reason, and with faith and action, you can overcome whatever the future throws at you. Remember that the time is now. The future begins today. Stand strong. Your spiritual preparation is the most powerful thing you have. You may not yet perceive the full scope of what is happening around you. As humanity, we have been going through a profound process of transformation, one that is not visible to the naked eye, but whose consequences are increasingly evident. If you look closely, you can see the small details, the way people react to crises, how unexpected situations seem to multiply, and that constant feeling that something bigger is looming over us. This feeling is not a coincidence. It is a warning that we must listen to, because humanity is being called to a spiritual awakening. At this point, it is important that you ask yourself a fundamental question. Are you prepared for what is to come? Do you have the tools, not only physical, but spiritual, to face the challenges that are presented to us? The Virgin Mary, in her infinite wisdom, has left us a clear and precise message about how we should act. Your message is not just a reminder, it is an urgent call to action. This is not a simple reminder of faith, but a command to prepare our hearts and our homes for what is to come. You may feel restless, confused, or even lost. The world is changing rapidly, and it often seems like we are losing control over what is happening. But I assure you that although the trials are great, we are not alone in this journey. The Virgin Mary, our Heavenly Mother, is reaching out to us, guiding and protecting us in these difficult times. She's not here to scare us, but to help us prepare, to give us the keys necessary to keep our faith firm, our family united, and our home protected. Now is the time for you to make important decisions. It's easy to get carried away by chaos and uncertainty, but we must resist that temptation. We cannot allow fear to paralyze us, nor let despair make us lose our way. It is time to reflect, to stop along the way and ask ourselves, what are we doing to prepare for what is to come? The Virgin Mary has sent us an invitation to prepare. It is not only a physical preparation, but also a spiritual one. True preparation begins in the heart, in faith, and then extends to every aspect of our lives. If you have already felt the call in your heart, if you have felt that inner restlessness, then you know that this is the time to act. But how do we start? How can we prepare the right way? The answer lies in faith, in prayer, and in the unconditional love that we must have for our loved ones and for ourselves. Preparation is not about accumulating material goods, but about strengthening our connection with God and those we love. Our home should be a refuge, a place of peace, of spiritual protection. And to achieve this, we must ensure that everything in our home reflects our faith and devotion. Now let's talk about a powerful symbol that the Virgin Mary has recommended us to have in every home. A symbol that is more than a physical object. It is a channel of connection with the divine, a constant reminder that we are not alone. This object is the Rosary. Why is the Rosary so important? The Rosary is a powerful spiritual tool that allows us to connect with God, gives us strength to face trials, and protects us from the dark forces that try to destabilize our faith. When we pray the Rosary, we are not simply repeating words. We are opening our hearts to divine light, asking for protection, guidance, and strength. The Rosary is not only a symbol of faith, it is a practical tool that helps us keep our spirituality active in our daily lives. Every prayer we say in the Rosary has a deep purpose. When praying, we invoke the protection of the Virgin Mary. We ask her to intercede for us before God and to help us go through difficult times with serenity and wisdom. The Virgin Mary has given us this gift to strengthen our faith and to protect our homes. This object should be placed in a special place in your home, a visible place where it reminds you every day of the need to keep faith alive and active in your life. The first step in preparing your home is to create a sacred space, a place where you can gather with your family and pray. This space should be quiet, free of distractions, and should be dedicated exclusively to prayer and spiritual reflection. You can place the Rosary in this place and surround it with elements that strengthen your faith, such as sacred images, candles, a Bible, or any object that represents your devotion. This space will be your refuge, a place where you can find comfort in moments of uncertainty and strength to face what is to come. Remember that the Rosary is not just a physical object, but a constant reminder of the divine presence in your life. By using it with faith and devotion, you will be activating powerful spiritual protection that will accompany you and your family. But it's not enough to have it in your home. The key is to use it, to pray it sincerely, and to integrate it into your daily life. Prayer should be part of your routine, your daily life. When you wake up, before you go to sleep, or any time you feel the need, take time to pray the Rosary and renew your faith. Now, the Rosary is only part of the spiritual preparation that we must have. Preparation is not limited to just an object or a sentence. True spiritual preparation is a continuous process that involves our heart, our mind, and our actions. We must always be alert to the signs of the times, to the signs that God sends us through the events of the world. The Virgin Mary has given us the gift of wisdom to understand these signs, to know when it is time to act and how to prepare for what is coming. You may be wondering, how do I know if I'm truly prepared? The answer lies in your faith, in your connection with God, and in your willingness to act with wisdom and love. If you have been praying the rosary, if you have been creating a space of faith in your home, then you are on the right path. But you must remember that spiritual preparation is not something that is done in isolation. Faith is strengthened in community. It is important that you share your faith with those around you, that you invite them to join you in prayer, to strengthen family and community ties. The Virgin Mary reminds us that union is one of the greatest strengths we have as human beings. When we pray together, when we unite in faith, we create a network of protection that strengthens us and prepares us for the challenges that lie ahead. You are not alone on this path. The Virgin Mary is with you, guiding you, protecting you, and helping you find peace in the midst of the storm. Now that we have talked about the importance of spiritual preparation, it is time to take action. The first step is to make sure your home is ready, your family is united in faith, and your heart is open to divine protection. Remember, the preparation starts now. You can't wait for events to unfold to start acting. The preparation time is now. Every prayer, every action, every gesture of love towards your loved ones and towards yourself counts. Together, as a family, as a community, we can face what is to come with faith, hope, and strength. It is essential that, as we move forward on this path of spiritual preparation, we do not lose sight of what really matters. We live in a world where distractions are many, and we often get carried away by what surrounds us. However, now more than ever, we need to focus our attention on what is truly valuable: our faith, our family, and our community. This spiritual preparation is not only about protecting ourselves from external dangers, but about strengthening our relationship with God, making sure that in the darkest moments we can find light and hope through prayer and faith. Now, as we continue to prepare for what is to come, it is important that we not only think about our own protection, but also how we can be a source of support and strength for others. The Virgin Mary calls us to be beacons of light in a world that seems to be losing its way. Our commitment to faith should not just be a personal matter, but something we share with our families, friends, and communities. Each of us has a responsibility to reach out to those who need support, to be an example of hope and courage in times of uncertainty. As we face what lies ahead, it is not only about our own capabilities, but our ability to come together as a strong, united community. The challenges ahead may seem overwhelming, but if we remain united in faith, we can face them with courage and determination. Collective prayer will be our greatest strength. When we come together in prayer, when we call upon divine help in unity, we create a powerful spiritual force that cannot be brought down by the forces of evil. The Virgin Mary has shown us that faith in community is key to getting through difficult times. Therefore, I invite you to make a commitment not only to your personal preparation, but also to that of others. Begin to gather your family, your friends, and those around you to share in this spiritual preparation. Organize moments of prayer as a group, whether at home or in your church, and share with them the power of faith and the protection that comes from being united in prayer. Together, we can create a spiritual support network that will keep us strong in the face of challenges that arise. Remember that spiritual preparation is a continuous path. It is not enough to make a few leaps of faith in times of crisis. We need to incorporate prayer and spiritual reflection into our daily lives as a constant habit. The Virgin Mary asks us to be prepared, not only in moments of difficulty, but also in moments of calm, so that we can keep our faith firm and our mind clear, no matter the circumstances. The key to facing everything with wisdom is to make prayer an integral part of our life. The next step in our preparation is to ensure that our mind and spirit are aligned with the will of God. True faith is not only expressed in words, but in our daily actions. We must be aware of how our actions affect those around us. Every decision we make, every act of kindness, every gesture of love is a way to reinforce our spiritual protection and that of our family. The Virgin Mary calls us to live our faith actively, to put it into practice through our thoughts, words, and actions. Faith should not be an abstract concept, but something that is reflected in everything we do. One of the most effective ways to strengthen our faith is to serve others. The Virgin Mary, throughout her life, showed unconditional love and constant service towards others. She teaches us that true love is expressed in selfless actions, in helping others without expecting anything in return. As we prepare ourselves spiritually, we must look for ways to serve those who need it most. This can be through a kind gesture, a prayer for others, or even offering our time and resources to help those less fortunate. When we serve others, we are not only following the example of the Virgin Mary, but we are also strengthening our own faith. The act of giving without expecting anything in return connects us with the divine source of love and reminds us that we are not alone. We are part of a community of faith that supports each other, cares for each other, and helps each other grow in love and hope. Every time we help others, we strengthen our connection with God and reinforce our spiritual preparation for what is to come. At the same time, we must be aware of the signs of the times. The Virgin Mary has sent us clear signs so that we are attentive and prepared. These signs are not always easy to interpret, but the key is to trust our intuition and divine guidance. If you feel like something big is about to happen, if you sense a change in the air, that feeling is not a coincidence. It is God's way of alerting us to take the necessary steps to protect ourselves and those we love. It is important to remember that we should not wait until events unfold to begin preparing. Spiritual preparation begins now. The Virgin Mary invites us to act in advance, to strengthen our faith before difficult times arrive. The sooner you make the decision to prepare, the stronger your spiritual protection will be. Don't let fear paralyze you. Preparation is not about being ready for the worst, but about being prepared to face any challenge with the certainty that God is with us, guiding and protecting us. One of the keys to keeping our faith strong in times of uncertainty is to maintain a positive and hopeful attitude. Although the times ahead may be challenging, we must remember that we are not alone. The Virgin Mary accompanies us, and with her we have the power to face any adversity with courage and faith. Keep hope alive in your heart, and do not allow fear or hopelessness to dominate you. God has a plan for each of us, and although we do not always understand all the details, we can trust that He will guide us to the light. It is essential to keep our faith active at all times. The Virgin Mary has called us to keep our hearts prepared for what is to come, and that includes both our spiritual and emotional preparation. The difficult times ahead will not only test us physically but also emotionally. The ability to remain calm in the midst of the storm will be crucial to our spiritual and emotional survival. We cannot allow fear and anxiety to destabilize us. Faith gives us the strength to remain steadfast, even in the darkest moments. One of the biggest challenges we will face in the coming times will be uncertainty. The future is uncertain, and that can cause anguish and worry. However, the Virgin Mary teaches us that we must put our trust in God. He has a purpose for each of us, and everything that happens in our lives has divine meaning. We don't always understand why things happen, but we must trust that God knows what is best for us and that His plan for our lives is perfect. Keeping our mind and heart focused on God is essential to overcome any adversity. Prayer not only connects us to Him, but also strengthens us and gives us peace. It's important to make prayer a daily habit. Not only when we face difficulties, constant prayer helps us keep our faith alive and allows us to be prepared for any challenge that comes our way. The Virgin Mary invites us to pray with a sincere heart, to ask God to give us the wisdom and strength necessary to face the times to come. It is important to remember that spiritual protection is not limited to just the rosary or other religious objects. Although these elements are important and powerful, true protection comes from our active faith and personal relationship with God. By praying, by meditating, by reflecting on His Word, we are strengthening our spiritual connection. The Virgin Mary teaches us that true protection comes from within, from a heart full of faith, hope, and love. In the times to come, we may be tempted to doubt, question our faith, and wonder why these trials are happening. But in those moments, we must remember that faith is not about understanding everything that happens, but about trusting that God is in control. The Virgin Mary reminds us that, although the difficulties are great, we must always seek refuge in prayer, faith, and family unity. Unity is key in these times. The Virgin Mary urges us to unite as a family and as a community of faith. As the challenges intensify, it will be more important than ever that we support each other. Family prayer, solidarity, and mutual love will be our greatest strengths. Together we can go through any trial that comes our way. The strength of our community of faith will be our protection, and the Virgin Mary is here to guide us and give us strength. It's time to take action. We should not wait for events to unfold to prepare. Every day is an opportunity to strengthen our faith, to prepare our homes, and to unite with our loved ones. If you haven't yet started creating sacred space in your home, do it now. If you haven't already started praying regularly with your family, start today. Spiritual preparation is not something that can be postponed. Every day that passes is an opportunity to get closer to God and strengthen ourselves in our faith. Remember that protection does not only come from spiritual objects or rituals, but from a sincere heart willing to live according to God's will. The Virgin Mary invites us to be witnesses of her love and to share that love with others. If we actively live our faith, if we help those around us, if we pray for our loved ones and for the world, we will be building a spiritual fortress that cannot be torn down by the forces of evil. By doing so, we will be ready to face any challenge that comes our way. And most importantly, we will know that we are not alone. The Virgin Mary is with us, interceding for us before God. She is our Heavenly Mother, and her protection is a shield that cannot be penetrated by anything or anyone. Trust in His love and His protection and act in faith. Spiritual preparation is not only a necessity, it is a blessing. It is an opportunity to strengthen our relationship with God and to prepare for what is to come. Preparation also means being willing to live courageously. In the coming days, we are likely to face situations that will test our strength, our faith, and our unity. There will be times when doubts will try to invade our hearts, but in those moments, we must remember the words of the Virgin Mary. Do not be afraid. I am with you. She is with us every step of the way, guiding us, protecting us, and showing us the way to peace and serenity. The key to getting through these times successfully is to stay calm, keep our faith active, and never lose hope. As we approach what is to come, we must be prepared to act with wisdom and love. The Virgin Mary calls us to be ready to face challenges, but also to remain firm in our faith and trust in God. She will give us the strength we need to get through any storm, as long as we trust in her love and His protection. It is time to make conscious decisions, to make changes in our lives that bring us closer to God and our true vocation as spiritual beings. The Virgin Mary is showing us the way, but it is up to us to follow it. We must be ready to act with courage, determination, and faith in God. No matter what is to come, with Him by our side, there is nothing to fear. As we spiritually prepare for what is to come, it is important that we do not lose sight of our mission in this world. The Virgin Mary has called us to be beacons of light, to be witnesses of faith and divine love in times of darkness. Amid the difficulties ahead, our mission will be clearer than ever. We must keep our faith strong, share our love with others, and be a support to those who are struggling. Faith should not only be something we keep for ourselves, but something we extend to others, as an act of charity and solidarity. True preparation is not only in what we do in our home, but also in how we influence our community. This is a crucial time to come together as a society, to embrace our faith and help those around us. By helping others, we are not only doing good, but we are building a support network that will allow us to face difficult times with greater strength and unity. If we all act with love and compassion, we can create a community that is stronger and more resilient in the face of the challenges ahead. It is also essential that in these times we do not fall into pessimism or despair. We know that the challenges are great, but our faith is even greater. The Virgin Mary has shown us that there is no obstacle too great for those who trust in God and act with faith. The love of God is stronger than any crisis, than any adversity. And if we keep our faith firm, if we unite in prayer and prepare ourselves spiritually, nothing can defeat us. The preparation time is now. The Virgin Mary has given us the tools we need to face difficult times, and those tools are available to everyone. The Rosary, prayer, family unity, service to others. All of this is part of our spiritual preparation. However, the most important thing is that we are willing to act with faith. Faith is not passive. Faith is demonstrated through our actions, through our willingness to follow the path that God has laid out for us, regardless of the difficulties. When we unite in prayer and action, we create a powerful spiritual force that cannot be defeated, no matter how dark the days get. If we keep our faith alive, pray sincerely, and support each other, we will be invincible. The Virgin Mary is with us, guiding us every step, interceding for us before God. His love and protection surround us, and we can rest easy knowing that no matter what happens, we will not be alone. It is crucial that we do not allow fear to dominate us. In times of crisis, fear can be a powerful force, capable of paralyzing us and making us doubt our faith. But we must remember that fear has no power over those who trust in God. The Virgin Mary teaches us that, in the midst of adversity, we must remain firm, with our eyes fixed on God, trusting that He is in control of everything. By keeping our faith alive, we can overcome any trial that comes our way. The next step in our spiritual preparation is to maintain a constant focus on prayer. Prayer is our direct link with God. It is through prayer that we find comfort, strength, and direction. The Virgin Mary has given us the Rosary as a powerful tool of protection and prayer, and we should use it every day. By praying the Rosary, we are invoking divine protection, asking the Virgin Mary to intercede for us and our families. The Rosary is not just a prayer, it is a way to stay connected to the divine, to strengthen our faith, and to prepare ourselves spiritually for what is to come. Additionally, it is important that we share this practice with our loved ones. We are not called to walk this path of faith alone. We must meet as a family, pray together, and support each other in this process of spiritual preparation. Family prayer is one of the most powerful tools we have to stay strong in times of crisis. By praying together, we strengthen family ties and remind each other that our faith is bigger than any problem or adversity. There is no time to waste. Difficult times are already upon us, and it is important that we are ready to face whatever comes. Spiritual preparation is not something that can be postponed. We cannot wait for the challenges to arrive to start preparing. We must begin today, right now, to strengthen our faith, unite in prayer, and create sacred space in our homes. By doing so, we will be protecting our families, our loved ones, and ourselves from the dark forces that try to destabilize us. Remember that the power of prayer and faith is greater than any adversity. If we trust in God and keep our faith alive, nothing can defeat us. The Virgin Mary is with us, guiding us every step and showing us the way to peace and protection. No matter what comes, if we remain steadfast in our faith and our spiritual preparation, we will overcome everything the future has in store for us. As we move forward in this spiritual preparation, it is essential that we do not forget the deepest purpose of our faith: love. The Virgin Mary teaches us that true preparation not only involves protecting ourselves, but also caring for others. Faith, as the Virgin Mary shows us, is an act of love towards God and towards our brothers. It prepares us to face challenges, but also calls us to be witnesses of divine love in the world. Every act of kindness, every gesture of compassion, every prayer we offer, not only strengthens our faith, but also lights the way for others. It is important that in these difficult times we stay focused on love, helping others, and providing support to those who need it most. The Virgin Mary invites us to extend our hand to others, to be a reflection of her light in a world that is often plunged into darkness. Through our acts of charity and kindness, we can build a network of spiritual support that will be more powerful than any challenge. One of the key aspects of spiritual preparation is service to others. The Virgin Mary, throughout her life, gave us the example of service and unconditional love. She taught us that true greatness is not in what we receive, but in what we give. By serving others, by sharing our blessings, we are building the kingdom of God here on earth. This not only brings us closer to Him, but also strengthens us in our faith and prepares us for the challenges that lie ahead. It's not just about protecting our homes and our families, it's also about protecting our hearts. Spiritual preparation is not only in our external actions, but also in how we cultivate our inner peace. It is easy to get carried away by the chaos and stress of the times we live in, but we must remember that the peace we need to face challenges does not come from the outside world, but from within us, from our connection with God. By strengthening our relationship with Him, we can remain calm in the midst of the storm and face any trial with serenity. In addition to prayer and service, the other key to spiritual preparation is meditation. Meditation allows us to be silent and hear the voice of God. In a world full of noise and distractions, meditation becomes a sacred space where we can find peace and direction. The Virgin Mary invites us to take time to meditate on her life and His teachings, to reflect on the love that God has for us and how we can live in accordance with His will. Meditation helps us hear His voice, understand what He wants for us, and make wiser decisions aligned with His divine plan. It is essential that we make meditation a part of our daily spiritual preparation. It doesn't matter if it's just a few minutes a day. The important thing is that we take time to be in His presence, to renew our faith, and to ask Him for guidance. By doing so, we stay centered and focused on what really matters, and we can face any difficulty with the confidence that God is guiding us. The Virgin Mary also invites us to maintain an attitude of gratitude. Sometimes, in the midst of trials, it can be difficult to see the blessings we have, but gratitude has transformative power. It reminds us that God is with us at all times, that His love never abandons us, and that, although the difficulties are great, we can always find reasons to be grateful. By practicing gratitude, we strengthen our relationship with God and prepare ourselves to face any challenge with a heart full of hope. It is important that we not only pray and meditate for ourselves, but also for others. The Virgin Mary asks us to intercede for our families, friends, communities, and for the entire world. Intercessory prayer is one of the most powerful ways to strengthen our faith and unite us in the fight against the dark forces that try to separate us from God. When we pray for others, we are not only providing them with spiritual support, but we are also building a bridge of love and unity that connects us all. The Virgin Mary, like other great saints and mystics, has shown us the way to overcome the spiritual and physical difficulties we face in life. It has taught us that although trials may be intense, we are never alone. She is with us, praying for us, guiding us to God, and helping us keep our faith alive. Through his example, we learn to live with faith, hope, and love, and to share those gifts with others. By doing so, we prepare ourselves spiritually for the difficult times to come. You may feel overwhelmed by everything that is happening in the world and what is yet to come. However, remember that in the midst of darkness, we can always find light. The light of God is with us, and the Virgin Mary is guiding us every step. No matter what happens, if we maintain our faith, our hope, and our unity, we will be prepared to face whatever comes. Remember that spiritual preparation is an ongoing process. It's not something we can do once and then forget about. Faith must be cultivated every day, strengthened through prayer, service, and meditation. The Virgin Mary invites us to live according to divine principles every day, to live with love, kindness, and gratitude, and to keep our faith alive through our connection with God. If we follow his example, we will be prepared to face any challenge and overcome any adversity, with the confidence that God is with us, guiding and protecting us. Spiritual preparation is not something that is done in isolation. It is a journey that must be shared with others. Unity is the key to overcoming the difficult times that are approaching. When we join together in prayer, when we reach out to one another, we create a network of spiritual protection that strengthens us. The Virgin Mary teaches us that our strength comes from collective faith, from brotherly love, from the union of hearts oriented towards the same purpose, divine protection. In this sense, true spiritual preparation begins in the heart of each of us, but expands to all those around us. It is not enough to seek protection only for ourselves. We need to share this commitment with our families, friends, and communities. We must be spiritual leaders within our homes, teaching our children and loved ones about the importance of prayer, service, and togetherness. Together as a family of faith, we can create an environment of spiritual protection, where fear and doubt have no place. Community prayer will be one of the greatest sources of strength in the times to come. By gathering to pray, whether in our home, church, or anywhere else, we are creating an atmosphere of faith and protection that encompasses everyone around us. The Rosary, as a powerful prayer, should be prayed not only individually, but in groups, whenever possible. When we pray together, divine energies multiply, and our connection with God and the Virgin Mary is strengthened. Every act of faith and every moment of prayer brings with it a wave of protection that envelops not only those who are praying, but also those around them. Prayer is a spiritual remedy that heals, protects, and restores inner peace. It is an invisible shield against the forces of evil and against the challenges that life presents us. The simple act of praying in a group already creates a safe environment where the divine is present and protects us. But preparation is not only spiritual, it is also practical. We must be prepared in all aspects of our lives, including the physical and emotional aspects. This means taking care of our health, being attentive to material needs, and practicing practical wisdom that will help us deal with the challenges of the physical world. The Virgin Mary teaches us that preparation is integral, covering all aspects of our life. Prayer and faith are the foundation, but we must also take practical steps to ensure the safety and well-being of our families. Among these practical measures, we can begin with the organization of our homes. An environment of faith should be a safe, calm, and welcoming space. As I mentioned before, creating a sacred space in our home where we can pray and reflect is essential. However, we must also be attentive to the practical needs of our home, such as having reserves of food, water, and other essential items that will help us face any crisis that may occur. Additionally, it is important to take care of our physical and mental health, Spiritual preparation involves not only our soul, but also our body. Maintaining a healthy diet, exercising regularly, and taking care of our mental health is essential to ensure we have the energy to face challenges. The Virgin Mary has always guided us towards a path of balance, where both spirituality and physical care are equally important. As we prepare for the future, we must also remember to maintain our inner peace. In times of uncertainty and crisis, the biggest challenge can be remaining calm and collected. Faith gives us the ability to remain calm in the midst of the storm, and it is this inner peace that will help us make wise decisions and act clearly when necessary. Daily prayer and meditation are essential to nourish this inner peace. We must set aside time each day to connect with God and the Virgin Mary, to reflect on His words and prepare for what is to come. The world around us is changing rapidly, and the global crisis that many foresee may be more than just a series of physical events. It will also be a test of our faith. The Virgin Mary warns us about this, but she also assures us that if we are spiritually prepared, nothing can bring us down. No matter what happens in the physical world, true security is in our relationship with God. If we are firmly anchored in our faith, with our home and community spiritually protected, we will be able to face any challenge with courage, serenity, and hope. Therefore, I ask you, who are reading these words, to commit to this preparation. Don't wait any longer. Start today with small actions to strengthen your faith and protect your home and family. Pray every day. Start meditating on the words of the Virgin Mary and seek to be in constant connection with God. Create an environment of faith in your home, gather your family, and share this message of protection with those you love. Pray the Rosary sincerely. Help create an atmosphere of unity and strength, and keep your spirit prepared for what is to come. Don't let fear or doubt paralyze you. The Virgin Mary is at your side, guiding you with love and protection. By following His teachings and preparing yourself spiritually, you will be creating a spiritual fortress that will protect you against all that is to come. Faith is more powerful than any crisis or adversity, and with it, you will find the peace and strength necessary to get through any storm. This is the time to act. Spiritual preparation begins now. Join us in prayer, in faith, and in love. Divine protection is within our reach, and with the help of God and the Virgin Mary, we will be ready to face difficult times with courage and confidence. We have reached the crucial point of our spiritual journey. What is to come requires more than physical or emotional preparation. It is a profound call which invites us to reflect on our faith, our union with God, and our willingness to face any adversity with courage and determination. Spiritual preparation is a continuous process, which must be nourished every day with prayers, meditations, reflections, and practical actions. We cannot wait for the challenges to intensify before we begin to act. The Virgin Mary warns us that the time of preparation is now. We cannot leave until tomorrow what we must do today. The world is in constant transformation, and the signs we are receiving are clear. We need to strengthen ourselves spiritually to face what is to come. By preparing our minds and spirits for difficult times, we create a solid foundation to face any crisis. Prayer, faith, and connection with God are the keys to going through adversity with serenity. The Virgin Mary, with her infinite goodness and wisdom, shows us that family and community unity is one of the fundamental pillars of our spiritual preparation. When we unite in prayer and action, we create a shield of faith that protects us against the forces that seek to destabilize us. Every act of kindness, every gesture of love and compassion strengthens the spiritual network that connects us to each other and to God. Union in faith is one of the greatest spiritual resources we have to face the challenges that will come. In times of crisis, we are often surrounded by uncertainties and fears. Anxiety can consume us, and doubt can make us question our decisions. But it is exactly in those moments when we must remember the constant presence of God in our lives. The Virgin Mary teaches us not to fear, to trust in the divine plan, and to maintain peace in our hearts. Even when everything seems to be falling apart around us, our faith offers us the serenity necessary to find solutions and remain steadfast. Faith is not something we can keep just for ourselves. As followers of Christ and children of Mary, we are called to be a light for others, to share our faith with those who are searching for answers. Spiritual preparation should be an act of generosity, which extends beyond ourselves and reaches those who need it most. By sharing God's love, we help create a stronger, more united community, capable of facing any tribulation. Now, more than ever, we need to act. Spiritual preparation cannot be neglected. Every prayer we pray, every step we take towards true faith, brings us closer to God and strengthens our spiritual protection. The Rosary, as we mentioned above, is one of the most powerful tools we have at our disposal. By praying it every day, we not only invoke the protection of Our Lady, but we also connect deeply with the history of salvation and with the strength of God. It is important that in addition to praying, we also seek to be living examples of faith in our daily actions. Spiritual preparation is reflected in the decisions we make, the way we treat others, and how we live our values. We must seek to be Christians in all aspects of our lives, not only in times of crisis, but in all situations we face. True faith is manifested not only in words, but in actions that reflect the love of God. The Virgin Mary guides us along this path, teaching us to be brave, to have unwavering faith, and to fully trust in God. When we follow His steps, we can be sure that we will be prepared for any situation, because we will be firmly anchored in faith and divine protection. Although the winds of adversity blow hard, we will not be shaken, because the strength of God will be with us, like an invisible shield. At this time, it is essential that you commit to living your spiritual preparation fully. Don't leave for tomorrow what you can start today. Organize your spiritual life, gather your family and community, and begin to create the spaces and habits necessary to strengthen your faith. Daily prayer is essential, but we must also practice faith in our actions. It is time to be a living testimony of God's love, spreading hope, kindness, and light wherever we go. Prayer must be something constant, but we must also act with wisdom, helping those around us and sharing our faith in a practical and concrete way. It is not enough to pray. We must also be people of action who seek to transform the world around them through the love of God. The Virgin Mary teaches us that faith becomes stronger when we put it into practice, when we act with compassion, kindness, and generosity. In her infinite wisdom, the Virgin Mary calls us to be prepared not only spiritually, but also physically. We must take care of our bodies, our health, our minds, and our family ties. All spiritual preparation must be accompanied by practical actions that guarantee our safety and well-being. Faith is not only a matter of prayer, but also of acting in accordance with God's principles in all aspects of our lives. The spiritual preparation we are talking about is not an easy task, but it is one of the most important things we can do. By doing so, we prepare ourselves to face what is to come with confidence, courage, and serenity. Remember that you are not alone on this journey. The Virgin Mary is with you, guiding you and protecting you. When we are united in prayer and faith, nothing can separate us from divine protection.